Hey people, I've been exonerated. I don't mean my YouTube channel, they still got me shut down. But, exonerate, this means the exon. When you mess up, they put an X on your file. The exon, erase. This comes from error. To eradicate. The error was wrong and time to change it. Destroy completely, put an end to. To remove the X on your file. But I made a short in Ephesians here, and I was reading on through it a couple times, and I was looking up this word, trying to find exactly what it might mean. It's the tux ecos is where your word like comes from, like as. And so when I was searching for it different ways, it brought me to this page here. And I looked down, and this tuxon, they said it meant maybe or by chance. And tuxo, they'll say it means luck. But I noticed this AGGLIKA, this is the English side. And if you translate this to English, that's what they say that means, is English. But this AGGLIKA, this is the base word for angel all throughout the Greek Bible. Anything with a double G, they'll make the first G an N. Angelic, the angel-like. And I said a long time ago, I said that the English were the angels. That's what that word is. You can see it in this word for the gospel, the evan. And so they'll give this first G an N. This is ANGELI. Angelo. Evangelo. The gospel. Evangelic. You can see it here in this angel. AGGEL. The agalos. The angels. The English. The agel. AGGEL. They give the first G the N. The angels. Angelo. Angelois. Angelon. Sometimes they say it's the messenger. Sometimes they say it's the angel. And this fits in with that 400-year-old dictionary. I leave a link to him on most of my movies, where he said that, Brit in writ was the language and English was the people. And they kind of changed that around to the Britons being the people and English being the language. But 400 years ago, the English were the people and British was the language. So I'm glad I found that, because I didn't know how to open up this movie. I read through this a couple times, and it take too long to read the whole thing. But I was going to show you some phrases and how the language comes together. The opening of the mouth, that's the opening of the mouth of the dead king. And it's actually talking about somebody getting sick. You have to read above here. And this is where your word noxious come from. They were getting sick. The nauseous. And then to the stomatos. And tos, T-O-S, is changes a word into it creates a verbal adjective out of a noun. To dilute something is dissolve it, and dilutus is dissolvable. That's where your word, your dial soap come from. You use it to dissolve the stains on your hand. The way they get this mouth out, what it looks like a stomach, the stomatos, this is where your word storage come from. The storage is in your stomach. And then the ma, is from storage to, how to get to the storage place. It goes in through your mouth first. The stomatos. How to get to the stomach. And let me hit this while I'm down here on the bottom, and it's fresh. This is inade. INADE. And this is where your word inadequate comes from. It's where not adequate comes from. Inade. Not aquatic. Not enough. And they date to amise to cat. And this is a legal term. and it's still on legal papers today. The inadequate, they date to a mise to cut. You know, a mise is a settlement or an agreement issued in the proceeding instituted on a writ of right. You know, a writ of right away. You know, a writ of right, English law, a writ directed to a person who presided over a feudal court, directing him to render justice between his vassals in a dispute to ownership of land. You know, you'll be out of here by this date. The date of mise, the in service, the place in service, the date that asset is ready and available. And it's where your word demise comes from, you know, a person's death or a conveyance of transfer of property. So inadequate, the date to a mise to cut. You know, not enough time to get out of here. Not enough time to get out of here, that you may know also you. And this word, it says faithful, is pistos. And so pis is behind. You know, if you're on a sailboat, you know, you're pissed downwind, you're pissed behind the pissed. And so pistu is, you know, is the one that's behind you, your faithful servant. He is pistu is behind you. And the faithful servant, you know, this isn't a slave, but, you know, behind you, dia, through, con as. And so it's not a slave, but one behind you, control, the con, the priest, the con is in. And this is a good one here, that you may know the things concerning us. This is inagnate. Inagnate. Inagnate means the genes from your father's side. You know, borrowed from Latin, the agnatus, the younger child, male blood relative on the father's side. And so this inagnate to peri, you know, around, the circumference, the circle, the perimeter, and the father's side to the perimeter, you know, around common, CHMON, common, you know, on the father's side in common, that you may know the things concerning us is in the bloodline on your father's side of the family. And this word for peace, so Irene, they got that totally screwed up. But if you just put a P-I-E-C in there, a piece, as in a hooker, and get you a piece, Irene is a much better term for that. We'll see it on the top a little different. We'll see it here in the Evangeliu of angel, you, the sirens. You know, the sirens are the hookers that's out there on the corner and hollering, you know, I got a piece. You know, just you're renting a piece. It's not, you're not buying the whole thing, just a piece of my time. The sirens, where your word sirens come from. And what really tripped me out in here, you know, I showed in that last movie, the diaball of is basketball. You know, a dia is through. You know, you have a punch and a die. A punch is a little poker, and a die is a hole the same size that you're going to push the punch through, to punch a hole in something. The dia, you know, is to through the ball of. And it was that Mayan ball. You know, in this Mayan ball game, they had a die up on the wall. This is the die, the through. And the ball gets passed through the hole. You know, play some die ball. And what really tripped me out, it talks about the feet several times on here. And here's one easy to see. You know, the macrochronios is the long time, not long lived. Chronos is time, not lived. You know, to these, the macrochronios, to these long time. Epiths, you know, the pithos was the jars with the writings on them, with the writings of the gods that were epithos, epiths. And so this is the first feat. It tripped me out. They don't say feet here, they say feet on the next time down. But this is, just a vav, a U and an oi. Ahoy is a warning. Ahoy. Hoy is just a call to a person, but ahoy is a warning. And so this is what's going on today. Ahoy, the fate rests much. And the Pharaoh rigs it to techno. And so the techno is the technician that's looking over the technoamon, Allah letter, the feet, what to in paid ya to now the say care you. And so nowadays these die ballers, through the die ballers, they get paid to put these letters on their feet, and now it tells them what they're going to say. Ahoy, beware the fate rests. Much pero rig is it to techno amon Allah letter the feet what to in paid ya to now the say. You've been paid what now to say care you. And I read this EK as a L, as that's just what it is, LTRE, letter, or letter, the feet. Same as this key is just a vav, a W, or a U. Same as this EN is a B. And this slave here is a do, will, as. You will do, will, as I say. Do, will, as. And this word, kamista, he will receive. And that's esta, or eta, is means to the future. And come is. And to the future come is. He will receive. And here's the other one for shoes here. And to hypodis so many. And so, hypo is under, and pod is feet. So hypod is underfoot, has so many. And so you got 50 kids, you done shooed so many. Hypod has so many to us podas, to us feet. To shoes so many to us feet. In it to amass, in it to amass, many, I've seen many of them. To of angel you, evangelo, to who angel you, EU is who, E is H, who angel you, the sirens, the loud, the whores. And so a whore, it's not necessarily a woman selling ass, but, people whore many things. And basketball players, they whore shoes. They sell Nike shoes for them. They sell Adidas shoes for them. And your helmet of salvation, that's that circle around all the enlightened heads and the pictures. Within Perry, the circle around the perimeter of the Kephalian. Kephal is the head, the Kephalion. To soother you, de-exist. This is death. You could get your pericephalian, to soother you in the death, to de-exist, to not be anymore. Within max air on, max air. You get these shoes and you can jump higher than everybody else. When you die, you can fly higher than everybody else. The max air on to pneumatos, from that which is like the wind toasts. From that which is, like the wind, it flies fast. The max air on to fly. To see is it in the rim, the of. Slam dunk. He flying up there and slam dunked it. There's nothing new. It's all ancient. Either that or they were looking into the future when they wrote this. So I read these 2 lines, 11 and 12, in that movie yesterday, and I was showing where they take this word pros, which means for, and then they twisted it, pros here is against, and then all the way through here, they turn pros into against, and against pros, and against pros, and against pros. But this is the word for against, and it's anti. Pros is for and anti is against. And this is against the stand, not to withstand, but against the stand. And this is where your word stingy comes from. We'll see it again lower here. To stand is the stannage, and it's where your word stingy come from. You're stingy. You're not gonna lean over. You stand in your ground. You're not giving any up. And this isn't stand. This is state. And this isn't stand. This is anti-stand, against the stand. So if you're watching this on any other channel, this is my main channel. I put most of my movies up here, but I got I don't know, over 300 movies up, and they go and hit them at any time they want and take my channel down. So if you're watching on this channel, this is one of my backup channels that I've been using, and I think I'm going to start putting all my risky stuff here because it doesn't have any licks on it yet. But you can catch these movies that I've been posting while I've been barred from my other channel. And this is the one that talks about those 2 lines about the die ballers. And this is my other backup channel. And Jesus Christ, that's what the Christians say when they look at my interpretations of the Bible. Oh, Jesus Christ. But I'm not going to settle for King James. It's just too easy to see that it was a total sheep's book. It's a children's book with a fairy tale in it, just to keep people dumb, keep people from reading the ancient writings to see what our true history come from. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.